I notice my hand resting on the edge of the table, and for a moment, it feels as though it belongs to someone else. The small movements of life, the blink, the breath, the shifting weight of thought, they carry a subtle tension, like the echo of something ancient whispering through the present. And I realize, maybe this is the first hint of the Bhagavad Gita, speaking not in grand speeches, not in philosophy, but in the very pulse of action. The subtle distinction between doing and being. Action, we think we understand it. Pick up, speak, move, decide. But what if action itself has layers, dimensions we rarely notice? Arjuna hesitates on the battlefield, bow in hand, not because he does not know what is right, but because every act radiates. Every arrow, every intention, every pause carries weight beyond comprehension. I sometimes imagine that even in my own life, the simplest gestures ripple outward, unnoticed, like waves in a pond that never ends. And perhaps the Gita is asking us to notice that the field of action and consequence exists within us, always vibrating. Karma is often presented as cause and effect, reward and punishment, ledger and account. But when I sit quietly with this text, I feel something subtler. Karma is resonance. It is a natural echo of movement through the fabric of reality. The GGT whispers that acting in alignment with awareness, without clinging to the results, is not merely moral or spiritual, it is the field of intention meets the field of consequence. And when the mind tightens around outcomes, it binds. When the mind relaxes, action flows like water, effortless yet complete. I might be wrong. Don't believe me, but maybe that's the dance the GT is pointing toward. I wonder if Arjuna's inner turmoil is not unique. Perhaps it is the very pattern of human consciousness. The tension between desire, duty, fear, and understanding. Every time I hesitate to speak, to act, or even to breathe fully, I encounter my own battlefield. And KrishnaSo.com so subtly reminds me that the intelligence of action lies not in controlling the world, but in aligning awareness with movement. Even the smallest acts, when free of grasping, resonate without binding. It is almost like quantum mechanics. The observer, the action, the unfolding, they are inseparable, interdependent, vibrating together. And yet, this is not liberation in the dramatic sense. It is quiet, subtle, a soft vibration under the surface of habitual thought. Notice how the hands move without tension when one washes them. How the mind breathes more freely when expectation is absent. These ordinary actions become extraordinary when observed. The GT does not instruct from above. It emerges from the silence between impulses. It invites awareness, noticing, resonance, until doing and being blur. The battlefield, the action, the actor, they are all waves on the same current. Sometimes I feel that life tests this moment by moment. A word we speak, a choice we defer, a gesture we make out of fear or desire, they all create tension, subtle bonds. But when we act with presence, without attachment, we glimpse the possibility of freedom that exists even while fully engaged in the world. It is not detachment in the sense of withdrawal. It is presence within movement. Action without bondage is like a river flowing, carrying everything along without holding, yet shaping the stones beneath it. And maybe, just maybe, the GDT is asking us to see that our own consciousness is that river, always moving, always shaping, always noticing itself. And then there is silence. I notice the quiet spaces between thought and action, between breath and perception. Perhaps that is where the true teaching resides. In noticing the subtle, intangible currents that underlie every choice, the text becomes less a doctrine and more a mirror reflection of the self in motion. And if I allow it, I can feel the tension of Arjuna dissolving. Not because the war disappears, but because the observer inside recognizes its own role, its own resonance, its own freedom. Action without bondage is not a goal. It is an ongoing experience, a practice of awareness. And I realize that the next episode, if we follow this thread, might show how consequence, choice, and consciousness continue to weave through the tapestry of being. Like waves, overlapping, like breath meeting thought, like awareness noticing itself, noticing